In this edition of Proclaim News, I'm going to talk about my trip to Park Rapids, Minnesota, and why I'm so tired. Whew, I need to get some sleep. Hello, everybody. Mr. Brown here, Proclaim Ministries, helping connect faith and life. In this edition, I'm going to talk about my wonderful trip to Park Rapids, Minnesota. Tell you up front, I spoke 18 times in 4 days. 18 times in 4 days. Some of these sessions were small, but still, working with students, I have to give a lot of energy out when I speak. I was so privileged to work with Hubbard In Prevention, it's a group that really helps reduce the use of alcohol and drugs among teenagers in their county. So they work with 3 different school districts, and I was able to work with 2 of them this time I was there. And I'm telling you, it was great. A lot of things happened that I just did not expect, and the reception was very warm and very welcoming in the entire community. As a matter of fact, we ended up in the newspaper. I got interviewed by a newspaper company, what they call newspaper. I interviewed by them, and the article was pretty nice. I think I skimmed it. You know, they tell you not to read your own press because you don't want your head to get so big. But making an impact in the community, it was really fun. So let me tell you about my week and why I'm so tired. On Tuesday, we spoke to 9th graders. They were orientation. They were there without the rest of the school. It was the first day of school for them. I did a huge assembly with all of them. Then we did 7 small groups, and each group came in for a little bit. We kind of talked about what they took away, what they put in invisible backpack, had some great conversation, ended up talking about other subjects as well. That was really great. Now, we did also partner with some other organizations as well, including the homeschool co-op. Got to speak to them that Tuesday night. Spoke to them about some parenting issues, how to connect with students in the classroom. I just shared some of the things I've learned with working with kids for over 30 years, and hopefully it will be beneficial to them as well. Next day, went to a community next door to Park Rapids called Nevis, and we spoke to the 7th through 12th graders. Now, some of you might be saying, why are you saying we? Yeah, I spoke, but I had a team there. I'm grateful for Paige, who's on our team, had some volunteers, Olivia Lang and Sydney Lang, who live in that area, and also the Hubbard In Prevention coordinator, Angela Graham. She helped out setting things up, putting things together, and I'm telling you, I so appreciate a team because usually I'm doing everything myself, setting up, taking videos, doing it all. So it's great to have a team there. So when I say we did it, it was we did it. So I spoke to 7th and 12th graders and had a great time with them. And that night I got a message from a student who said, hey, thanks, your message changed me. I stopped vaping, I stopped drinking. And you know what? Hey, we planted a seed. Hopefully that seed can be watered. It was great to hear from him. So I spoke to them. Then we went back to the high school, spoke to a group called the ALC. These students are in a special program. Between the ages of 17 and 20 something, they're like trying to get their GED. They have to be in this program for different reasons, whether they're a mom or they have to work. I think the ages might be younger than that as well, but had a great time with them. And sometimes people look at those kids kind of different because they're not in the normal classroom or the general population, so to speak. But I encourage them, listen, you can only start from where you are. This is where you are. Do the best where you are and get your education, get your DD, so you move on with life. Don't worry about people looking at you funny, and that's some of the response I got from them. You help me not to think about what other people are saying about me. I gotta live my own life, and I'm grateful that I was able to connect with those students. And then later that night, we went to the church, Faithbridge Church Youth Group, spoke to them. They had their first meeting for the year. They had a little rap concert so they had some guests, musicians come in, and I was able to speak and share the gospel and hang out with students. That was great as well. Then the next day, woke up. On Thursday, we ended up speaking to the rest of the high school at Park Rapids, the 10th through 12th graders. And that was amazing as well. Full pack, students were engaged, laughing. It's great when they laugh at my jokes, but it's also great when they actually listen and they take things away, put in their invisible backpack. As a matter of fact, let me share with you 3 quick testimonies from students and what they said.
So it's the same thing I told Mr. Brown. I said that the part with the ruler about like where you were in your life, what you've only lived up to this point, you got this much left to go. I think that you have to look at the bigger picture, and I think that's kind of the main thing that's been sticking with it. So.
Awesome. Respectful, I guess.
It was good. I feel like a lot of people were like involved and like they were actually listening and they were telling their friends to like be quiet. That was kind of nice to see. I liked it.
Then I had a chance to speak to all the athletes and leadership team about just the responsibility that they have of doing their best, giving effort, and also their privilege. Because some athletes don't give their best effort, but they also are in a place of privilege. So I talked to them about that. and also had a chance to go to a small classroom, hang out with students there. Man, I'm telling you, the days were starting to add up. And then Friday, we went back to Nevis, spoke to their younger kids, K through 6, did 2 assemblies with them actually, kind of broke them up, but also we got to go back to Park Rapids Middle School and speak to the 7th through 12th grade. Did 2 assemblies. I think the 5th and 6th and 7th, 8th. I'm telling you, it all starts to blend together. That's why I'm tired. But you know what? I'm so grateful and privileged to be able to reach these students with the truth, helping them to understand when they make better choices, they will live a better life. And I got a stack right here, stack of notes from students who just responded and said things to me. And these really mean a lot because I get to hear what they're thinking, hear what they're saying. And many of them came up to me and talked to me. We had a lot of individual conversations with students. And that's what I really like. I really like not only assembly, but having those small group conversations, whether that's a small classroom or also using, having one-on-one conversations. Students just want to share things with me. And I had some great, great thoughts. So I want to end this Proclaim News with sharing just some of these notes. I picked 3 of them I want to share with you. One of them really, really got me because this young man chose not to commit suicide. He was contemplating killing himself. Not only did he tell me that, he also wrote a letter to explain why. But first, I'll give you 2 other letters first. One from a student. She said this: "Today's speech impacted me in many ways. I've struggled with being stuck in the past. It's okay not to be okay, but it's not okay to stay there." That's a quote that I gave them. "I got dealt a tough hand of cards, with having both mom and dad being heavy users, getting taken away from them at a young age. When you did the game with the teachers about looking up, it will impact my future tremendously. I'm going to take what I gained from your speech and run with it. Oh yeah." Thank you, Mr. Brown. Dear Mr. Brown, your speech is very powerful. As a kid, I did not have much, and I grew up in a not safe area, but your speech made me believe in life more. Neither did I have a dad as well. And I thought the problem was me, but your speech made me realize the problem was never me. And now I have a stepdad who loves me very much. I can relate to having a brother with brain damage as well as they have the same name as well. I respect you, Mr. Brown. Thank you for being alive and here on earth. That was pretty cool. Now it's a young man who walked up to me and told me his story. After the assembly, he actually came up to me and said, "You changed my life." He just looked very serious. He shook my hand. He didn't say much else. Then later in the day, he came to me again. I was talking to another young lady. He came up, he waited to talk to me. And he told me again, "You changed my life. Thank you so much." He said, "I was going to commit suicide, but you made me realize, that I shouldn't." And he said, "Thank you." And then I went to the office. He had sent a letter, and this is what the letter says. "Dear Mr. Brown, today you changed my thinking on killing myself. I was going to do it tonight, but you changed my mind. I want to live my best life, and thanks to you. Thank you for everything." And we did contact the school and talk to the counselors, make sure somebody else had talked to him. And he had told some other people what was going on. So the young man's getting the help he needs. And so, you know what? I'm just grateful for the opportunity to be salt and light in these schools and talk to students. And some of the students who were at the school actually came to the youth group as well on Wednesday night where they got to hear the gospel. And so I'm so grateful for the team, what people help put it all together. And I said we, because we as a team did it. I never underestimate the power that the team plays, whether that is Natalia back here working, keeping things going administratively, Paige and Glory making videos, the volunteers up set up, and those of you who actually support the ministry. You support what we do, and I'm grateful. And the fact that this young man is still living today is great. It's a great story. Hopefully it encourages you, because sometimes people think what I do in schools is not that important because I'm not, quote unquote, preaching the gospel, but I get to be salt and light, and a lot of conversations lead to a lot of different conversations. So thanks for what you're doing. And like I said before, I am tired because it's been a long travel yesterday. And so it's time for bed, but thank you so much for your support and taking time to watch this edition of Proclaim News. And stay tuned for another one. We're trying to do much better, releasing one every week. And I'll let you know next week some things we're doing with some new Bible series we're doing, some new things I want to do for young people, and answer some of their questions that I got from the youth group and other youth groups I've been to before. So with that said, thanks for joining us. This has been Proclaim News, and I'm Mr. Brown with Proclaim Ministries, helping you connect faith and life.